Hello everyone. I am Manohar Kumar, Assistant Professor of English from Government College, Devgarh. As you know, last few days we have been studying the poem Elegy written in a country churchyard, composed by Thomas Gray. And we have already studied first to 11th stanzas of this poem, and today we are going to study the 12th stanza of this poem and lines 45 to 48. This poem is for BA second year students of English literature, and let us start the text of the poem. Perhaps in this neglected sport is laid some heart once pregnant with celestial fire, hands that the road of empire might have swept or wagged to ecstasy the living lyre. Perhaps in this neglected sport is laid. Perhaps in this neglected sport means uh, the graves of poor fathers is laid some heart once pregnant, some poor forefathers once pregnant with means here full of celestial fire. Celestial fire means here heavenly inspiration, divine inspiration. So, the lie-buried forefathers in this neglected sport, in this ignored sport, might be full of, might have full of celestial fire, heavenly inspirations once. Hands and the hands of lie-buried forefathers, the road of empire might have swept. In the hands of lie-buried forefathers might have uh, the ruler, uh, the power of empire, and wagged to ecstasy the living lyre. Wagged means kindle, ecstasy means sublimity, rapture. The living lyre, musicians, poets, and in the hands of lie-buried forefathers might have uh, the lyre or the power of poetry, and might have musicians. So, in these lines, the poet says that perhaps some persons who were endowed by nature with high abilities lie buried in this unknown, obscure country churchyard, perhaps whose gifts did not come to light for lack of opportunity, for want of opportunity. It is quite possible that someone lies buried here whose heart was full of a divine inspiration, or one who was fit the role as a sovereign, or one who could have developed into a great musician. The poet imagines that under more favorable circumstances, the latent gifts of these perhaps might have found scope for exercise. One of these persons might have become a religious prophet, another a emperor, another a great poet or musician, but they didn't opportunity to expose, to display their power, their knowledge, their hidden talent. So the poet here describes the an opportunity and adverse circumstances of the poor forefathers. They might have great rulers, they might have musicians, they might have poet and they might have divine inspiration for others, but they didn't get the opportunity to expose, to display their knowledge. And in the next stanza of this poem, 30th stanza, but knowledge to their eyes, her ample page, rich with the spoils of time, did never unroll. Chill penury repressed their noble rage and froze the genial current of the soul. But knowledge to their eyes, her ample page, rich with the spoils of time. Spoils of time means here knowledge acquired in the course of time. Did never unroll. Did never unroll means locked, never reveal, never emerge. Chill penury, extreme poverty, refreshed, exploited their noble race, their noble zeal, their noble jest, and froze and block the genial current of the soul, and block the generous impulses of their soul. So, because uh, because of extreme poverty, they wouldn't play great role. They couldn't express their knowledge, they couldn't express their power, they couldn't express their talent because of extreme poverty. Though here in this stanza, the poet says, the men lie buried in their graves had no opportunities for education. The men lie buried in their graves had no opportunities for education. So, whatever gifts they had remained undeveloped. Whatever talent they had remained undeveloped. The vast accumulated knowledge of centuries remained a closed book to them, and they lived their lives in complete ignorance because of their want of education. Want of education. Poverty was a severe handicap to them because It did not allow them to develop their holy ardor and the generous impulses of their hearts. Poverty had a benumbing effect upon their noble instincts, and their poverty dried up their religious enthusiasm or their spiritual ardor. So, the most important obstacle to get known for them was extreme poverty. Because of extreme poverty, they couldn't get glory, they couldn't get education, they couldn't get any popularity, and they couldn't express and expose their talent. So the poet says, because of lack of opportunity, because of extreme poverty, these people, these poor forefathers couldn't express their talent and their knowledge. They couldn't gain, couldn't get education. Whether they were intelligent, they have eagerness to get the knowledge, they have zeal, they have have gusto to get a knowledge, but there was the most uh, obstacle in their way was extreme poverty, which froze the genial current of soul, which froze the general's impulses of soul, which froze the zeal of the poor forefathers. So it was your stanza 12th and 13th, and in our next lesson we discuss on the next stanza of the poem. This poem is very important for the students and most obscure and typical poem. So, students, you have to study seriously, and Thomas Gray is most obscure poem. Thank you for today.